We're going to call this commission meeting to order on April 9th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Mayor Miller,
Here.
Vice Mayor Bloodsworth,
Here.
Commissioner Grunder,
Here.
Commissioner Howell,
Here.
Commissioner Whites.
Here.
All right, we're going to have the invocation and the pledge. Father, we come to you on tonight just lifting your name on high, asking God that you will order our steps in your word, direct us, lead us, and guide us, and let us be able to make good decisions for the city of High Springs. We ask God that we just cover the whole staff in your precious blood. In your son's name we pray, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we're going to have the approval of the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion we approve the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Approval of the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion we approve the consent agenda for March 26th.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We have no special presentations. We got one unfinished business item, discuss, consider, and act on ordinance 2026-01.
Mr. Mayor, this is ordinance number 2026-01, an ordinance of the City of High Springs, Florida, providing for a procedure for the review and approval of certain recovery residences consistent with Florida Senate Bill 954 and the Federal Fair Housing Act laws, establishing Appendix B, Article 11, Part 11.19.00 of the Land Development Code, providing an administrative procedure for review and approval of certified recovery residents, repealing all ordinances of conflict and providing for an effective date. As a reminder, this is second read. This is just how people can ask for exemptions from your land development code in terms of asking for reasonable accommodations.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve ordinance 2026-01 as presented.
Second.
Any citizen comments? This is an ordinance, roll call vote.
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bloodsworth,
Yes.
Commissioner Grunder,
Yes.
Commissioner Howell,
Yes.
Commissioner Whites.
Yes.
All right, it's approved.
Mr.
So-
Mayor, can I ask a quick question on this? This is the process that we've approved. How do we translate this process and then amend the allowable uses table? That's a separate,
It's a separate ordinance, Mr. Mayor, and I've been thinking a lot about how to approach handling it, and I wanted you all's thoughts. I was going to bring it up in attorney comment tonight, but I'm glad Commissioner White's brought it up. Does the commission have any appetite for me shopping quotes for planners for the limited scope of coming in to help you all address this Band-Aid issue in a responsible planning way until we do the LDC rewrite? Obviously not committing the city to any fund expenditures. I'm not, authorized to engage in any contracts, but just to come back with quotes to you all, for you all to decide if you've got an appetite for bringing someone in to kind of help you, a certified planner guide you through this portion of it. Probably starting with the individual who's doing our rewrite, seeing if we can engage her on like a limited scope basis to come in now to help us with this. So I wanted your thoughts generally on that.
Is it a pressing need?
The problem right now is that you don't have a definition for a certified recovery residence in your LDC, and so the problem would be if one came in, where do we put them? Because your group home definition specifically excludes what is essentially a certified recovery residence.
but we had talked about making this a subset of group homes.
That was one
At
of the
some point-
options.
Is that something that the North Florida Regional Planning Council can do for us?
Previously, I had spoken to the Regional Planning Council about creating an amendment to the code, but we would need more information on what exactly you would want. They don't generally create anything from scratch or anything like that. We can provide drafts for review, but it's beyond their current scope with us to create from scratch without more guidance. We would want to know exactly what the commission would want.
They're not going to provide you with the planning portion of the service. That's the issue. Like we talked about, I can write the ordinance. I just can't advise you as a planner whether or not you're making a good future use decision for purposes of your planning.
I mean, with the understanding this, it could change when we update the LDC anyway, but just in that middle time, Is
If
it-
the commission provided instruction, either I could do it because at that point it is within North Florida scope. So if the commission said, we want it to be a subset of group homes for the time being until we do the rewrite, I think that's sufficient information to send to North Central Florida Regional Planning Council to get them to put together an amendment.
And then I guess tentatively what zoning categories you would want them in. Because if we provide all the information that would be in the ordinance, they could give us a draft. But just blanket asking them for, hey, we need an ordinance on this topic, that is outside of their scope. They generally review, assist, create legal like the notifications that go out, legal ads, things like that, but they don't tend to create from scratch for us. It is to help us, not to create. If that makes sense.
I would say I don't think there's any issue with going out and getting quotes to at least hear what somebody's willing to do to help us in the interim. But the last thing we want to do is pigeonhole ourselves and put ourselves in a situation where we should have gone out and did not. And it may not cost us much, it may cost a lot, at which point we probably don't do it. But if it's something that's feasible at the moment, I don't see why we can't go out and find out. So I would have zero issue with you going out and getting us some quotes that we could at least look at and be fully educated on.
And once you get those quotes, I mean, if you decide it's not worth going out right now and just waiting for the LDC rewrite, that is an option to you as well.
Yeah.
Or to circle back with something exactly that you want from North Central Florida Regional Planning Council, knowing that you haven't had a planner really weigh in on it. But I mean, they can put together an ordinance. So I'm trying to attack this from multiple angles for you all to get you basically the most information you can have, and then you can make an educated decision, was my thought.
I like that.
Can we make that an agenda item whenever you think you can have something
I
together?
can probably commit to the next agenda. I think this needs to move, right?
Yeah,
Like, this isn't
yeah.
something that can sit stagnant.
We
Right.
need a
So-
motion for that?
I don't remember
know.
if
Would
I'm
you need-
authorized to put things on the agenda. I can either bring it back in my attorney comment at the next meeting, or it'll be on the agenda.
Well, I'll go ahead and just keep it clean and make a motion that we ask you to go out and get us a couple of quotes, and once you have those, to add it to the next agenda.
Second.
Definitely.
1 second. Could we actually add to you doing a ordinance? Cause see, if you write one and we look for quotes and then the quotes are too much, and then we already, at least we got one until we get the LCD rewrite. Could that be something?
We're
that
probably, I can, if that's the will of the commission, I can write it. I need guidance on what exactly you want in it. That's a legislative decision I don't have the authority to make.
We want to table that discussion until we've got some quotes to look at, or?
Yeah, I would say let's get the quotes, and then we can make an educated decision as to where we need to go from that point.
Okay. Citizen comments. All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. All right. Citizen requesting comments for issues not on the agenda. Please state your name for the record and limit your comments to 5 minutes, please.
I just wanted to share some information with you. Recently, I asked for, under public records, to see where the city was with submitting its 23-24 audit. I received several documents in reference to that from the state of Florida. There were 2 letters that were referencing the CRA fiscal year 23-24 audit, directing the Department of Commerce and the Department of Revenue to proceed with further state action because the audit has not been completed and submitted. Then there was an email that was received indicating that the Department of Commerce would withhold the half-cent sales tax, and that each month compliance is not met with the half-cent sales tax, that tax will be forfeited. Not given back to the city, but forfeited. And then there was another email that was received by the city indicating that the Department of Revenue will withhold revenue sharing funds, and that would be withheld each month that compliance is not met. And my understanding is once it's met, then the compliance is met, then that money could come forth to the city. Then there was another email that was received from an attorney from the Department of Commerce that the Joint Legislative Auditing Committee has now directed the department to file a petition for enforcement against the High Springs CRA. And that is totally unacceptable that we have not had our audit done. I understand we don't have a finance director. I understand there's been problems. But you all are facing budgetary problems, and now you're looking at money being withheld from the budget, from the city, from the citizens. Yeah, I think you need to pull all the stops out and get whatever people you need on this to get this done. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm John Millay. I'm a resident of High Springs, and I also own a commercial building in downtown. I'm here tonight because this is no longer a minor issue. It's a compliance and financial risk to the city. Based on public records and recent developments, required CRA reporting has not been completed since 2023, and the state has now taken legal action against those failures. This puts the city at risk to grant funding, risk to financial stability, and risk to the credibility of this commission. This is not about opinion, this is about execution. Reports were required, they were not filed, that is a fact. The community also needs to understand the potential financial exposure here. If this situation is not corrected, it could jeopardize existing funding, including approximately $1 million associated with the Priest Theater project, and potentially create a repayment obligation. The last time I raised this, there was no response. Silence is not a response to a compliance issue. So I'm asking for three specific things. What is the current status of the CRA reporting? Who is responsible for bringing it into compliance? And what is the timeline to fix it? I'm requesting that those answers be provided publicly tonight or at the next meeting, so the community understands exactly where we stand. Because at the end of the day, the cost of inaction doesn't stay inside City Hall. It falls to the people and businesses who are investing in this town. Thank you.
David Lynch, I beg the commissioners not to pave over our beautiful concrete streets. High Springs Brewing is using the High Springs name to promote a product that kills 7,000 people each day.
All right. Any other citizen comments? Commissioner response.
Well, that's alarming. That information is extremely alarming. So I would love, let's go ahead and put that, Angela, can we get that on the agenda for the next meeting to answer those questions, please? And at least hear that, because I hadn't heard that about the possibility of that Priest Theater money having to be paid back. So can I get that on the next agenda, please?
I can make a comment about the audit. If you'll remember last meeting, I had told y'all I had talked to the auditor, and he had prepared or was planning on having the 2024 audit completed this month, end of this month. So hopefully we'll have those numbers, and that will be reported in to the state and get all that corrected out. At least that's what the conversation was all about.
All right. Any other commissioner comments? All right. New business item number 1, discuss possible modification to High Springs Code of Ordinance, Chapter 62, Section 38. And Commissioner Whites, we're going to allow you to speak to this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've spoken to Mr. Marshall about this a couple of times, and we've had some residents speak about some of the difficulties they have complying with pickup points for trash. And I was just wondering if we would be able to, and Danielle, this may be a question for you, legally modify the ordinance to just give a path by which somebody could apply for an exemption based on a certain set of criteria. Like if the pickup point is a quarter of a mile from their house, that's pretty excessive. Or if the road that the people live on isn't navigable by the trash trucks, can we give them I know that the goal is that you keep everything tidy and clean, and we don't want it to become a codes issue, but what kind of options would we have there?
So, in looking at 6238, it looks like you guys have already started the process of establishing exemptions from your solid waste services. And by started, I mean 10, 11 years ago, you guys
There's a
did that.
property size,
Right, property size. So
right?
the short answer is yes. It's just got to be tied to a rational, like you said, we want to establish criteria. We don't want it to be at the discretion of the commission or
Sure.
at the discretion of the city manager, such that we're unequally treating residents, Well, they knew somebody and so then they didn't have to comply, but so-and-so didn't
Right,
know anybody
right.
and so they got told they had to comply. So if you establish, if you guys set forth criteria that you think should exempt someone from our trash services, I can bring back something for you all, language-wise, to mull over and kind of noodle on. If you'll just give me some guidance on, what you think the criteria should be, I can put that together, absolutely.
And in that exemption now, those fees would fall on the city, right?
Well, it's just that this is a Dana question really, but my understanding is that it's spread out amongst all of your residents. So really what you're doing is you're taking away folks who pay in to, this common cause, if you will. So you'd have fewer people signed up for trash. Are they going to have less cost because they don't have to try to fit down those roads? Maybe. I don't know how that would come out in the wash for Waste Pro or GFL or whoever your waste hauler at the time was. It would depend on how they calculate market rate and so on and so forth.
So is that a question that we should have Mr. Marshall ask Dana? I mean, 'cause
I would double
I
check.
have no idea how
Sure.
many people, let's just say randomly, we said a quarter mile, and it's a dirt road that the trash truck can't get down. Mm-hmm. Would that be 10 residences?
Sure. Would it be
30?
100?
I don't
Who
know.
knows?
And Dana would probably have a better sense of that.
Right.
So that we could, make sure that I'm not trying to pull the rug out from under Dana, but I also don't want people having to drive their stuff down a mile or, just reasonable accommodation.
Sure.
And
So
I don't know what the process would be. Could this be an administrative thing? Would it have to come to the commission? I don't know how that
if
works.
you all, when you think about the other things that we do that are administrative, you guys set forth such clear criteria. Things like that, that aren't really left to chance. It's either you check the box or you don't. A lot of the times can be administrative, when it comes to, there are certain permits I know and certain exemptions that we'll do that are administratively approved because you all have set forth such clear rules on when it's allowed. So if you did something like that here, you could do it administratively.
So, because we're in contract right now with Waste Pro, so if they're used to getting $10 from us and two people are paying that $10 and we take out that one person, they're still going to want $10.
That's what I want. I think that Dana would be perfect to clarify Waste Pro's perspective on that. Not having Waste Pro's contract in front of me. My gut reaction.
Because I talked to Jeremy and he told me that what it looks like, we're gonna have to incur that cost.
As opposed to passing it on to other customers. Well, and that's what I was saying, is you're taking people out of the pool to pay, so theoretically you'd pass that on to the other customers, or the city would eat it. Would really be, and that, again, Dana is gonna be able to better speak, or Jeremy. I haven't had a conversation with Jeremy about this.
Yeah, so in my opinion, if that is gonna be the case, I say leave it like it is, because this probably should have been something we probably brought up when we were in negotiation with Waste Pro to kind of see if we could do it. Because I think if we do it now and we have to incur that cost, we already down bad. We don't need to be down bad in no more. Like, we already down bad. So I kind of.
I believe you're right. I think we have like a group price, and we're paying that to Waste Pro no matter what we're doing here. So if we take people out of that, we're still have this to pay.
So we pay them a monthly set fee, is what you're saying?
I believe so.
I believe that's what she explained when she was up here during
Per
the,
home, I mean, so that
I
many
think
homes
it's-
pay this much, everybody's gotta pay.
Yeah.
If you take people out of that pot, we still owe that, we're under contract for that. amount.
exactly.
So I think that's how it's broke down, estimated how many residents there are. And then they break it down like per price, per household, and so
And
on
now,
and
like
so forth.
Mr. Mayor said, if we were gonna change something, we should have
Yep. Well,
brought that up during negotiations.
Yeah, because see, I think in the contract process, it was like, okay, we have 100 residents and then this is how much we gonna divide between those 100.
I do understand what you're saying, and I would love to see how many houses that would, or residences that would affect. I think that Waste Pro would be more than apt to come up with some other ideas to get the trash removed. Something for Jeremy to talk to Dana about. They seem very proactive in working with us, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is this something that we need to make a motion on?
I think that you all five of you seem to be on the same page. I don't think you need a motion. I think Mr. Allagood has taken down notes of what you all would like Jeremy to talk to Dana about
Okay.
and bring back to you.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'll listen, but if it's gonna cost us anything, I'm a no.
Yeah, 'cause I'm kind of on the side of just leave it alone altogether, because they are doing us a favor. They ain't going up on the, and it's like, don't ask for too much.
That's right. Can't go to the wishing well every day.
But if you all want them to ask, I'm on the side of just leave it alone.
As am I.
So then do we want Jeremy to talk to Dana or no?
I don't think it'll hurt to ask any time, but I think we all understand how it's set up. But if he wants to talk and we can listen, and maybe he's got better answers than what we know tonight. But going back by what Dana presented here, what we all kind of understand, it's a big picture. And that's going to change things. And then I think the charges will be occurred on the city's end.
Yeah, because like I said, I just don't see nobody. Like, I'm thinking about me, myself. If I got 20 customers and I say, well, this person just don't have the money, I'm going up on everybody else, because somebody going to pay the difference. So I don't see them saying, okay, we're okay with taking $5, even though we're used to getting 10.
I think I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up too. With all the stuff we've got going on, with all the things we're hearing about, is this where we want Jeremy to spend any time at all? With everything we got going on, with all the issues we got, with all of this, do we really want him pulling time away and focusing on this at all? Is that?
Well, I wouldn't have brought it up if I didn't think so, but I certainly accept that that you've got a different position. That's fine.
Yeah, I just don't think that. I think he needs to stay focused where he is. He's already told us he's doing a lot right now. He's running a finance, he's running public work. We got him pulled so thin. If we continue to just load up because it's easy for us to say yes, then I think we're doing a disservice to him. That's my position on it.
Mr. Mayor, I apologize. I'm going to change my answer. You guys don't seem to be on the same page. So if my initial read was wrong. So if there is affirmative direction, I think a motion is probably appropriate.
I see it both ways, and I agree with Commissioner Grunder. We got more things to be worried about right now. So I could go either way with this. If y'all want to deal with it and give Jeremy orders to do it, but otherwise, I say let's leave it alone right now. We should have done this during negotiations, and Dana could have addressed it at that point in time publicly. But I could go either way on it. I understand what people are concerned about, what they're having to deal with. But as a city, we have some serious things to deal with right now.
I'm entertaining the motion.
Well, I'll make a motion that we ask Mr. Marshall to ask Dana what the impact would be. She's the only one that would know that if we set limits, say, quarter mile from road that they can't get down, she's the only one that's going to really know how many those are. We don't know that, so.
So, and I guess my question, even with that, is, are they actually using the service?
They have to. They're required to pay for it. Oh, are they actually functionally? I don't know.
Because everybody's using trash.
Yeah, but what your question is, are those people that they can't get down the road, are they putting a can out? I don't know. They're paying for it.
They may not physically be doing it, but their grandchild or their children.
I don't know.
Somebody's
Yeah.
bringing it down, and I actually think Chief Shepherd does it with one lady. He brings her trash down himself.
Yeah.
So they're still using the service, even if they can't do it themselves. Somebody's bringing that trash down.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that, so that's a good question. Motion dies.
We got a motion on the floor.
No second.
All right, motion dies for lack of second.
Okay.
Do we need to make a motion? Okay.
No,
well,
if the motion dies, I mean, you just move on from the topic, unless you guys wanted to talk more about it.
all right. Well, public comment.
This about, I guess, 3 or 4 months ago, about the fact that I live a mile down the road and the truck cannot get there. I do not put my trash out because I can't get it in my truck. My husband can't, he is blind. So I carry mine to the collection center on 441. So that's the option that people have who cannot get their trash to the place. Now, after the meeting the last time, Dana asked me to call her the next day, so I called her. And she said, well, we'll find a place for you to put your can and we'll permanently leave it there. So I got somebody to carry my can and put it where they told me to put it. I took the trash down and put it in the can. When I went back the next week to put my next trash in there, the first trash was still there. So I thought, well, maybe it's going to take them a little bit of time to get it all coordinated. 2 weeks later, I went on vacation. And when I came back, the maggots and nobody had picked up any trash. And I spoke with her and I spoke with the gentleman, I think, that owns Waste Pro. And he said, oh, this will be no problem, this will be no problem. The guys will just, I said, it's a really steep ramp that they have to come down to get the can. I mean, it's, I don't know, it's like that coming down. And they had me put it off the road and by a tree is where she told me to put it. So that's where I put it. Nobody ever emptied that trash. So for this whole year that I've had trash service there, I have never used my trash service. I carry it to 441. And I understand the city's got big problems and $30 a month doesn't seem like that big a deal, but you know, it's something that I'm not using, and if it were easy to fix that, it certainly would benefit me. I don't know about anybody else. But there's a sand pit. Of course, we're not having any problems with that on that road now. That's a joke. The truck cannot get down there. So
Can you tell me what happened when we had GFL? Were they getting to you?
I don't know because I didn't have GFL. I didn't do it then. There was somebody else in the house that took care of that. And then they moved away, and my husband and I are left there. My husband's blind. I'm not physically able to pick up that can and put it in the back of my truck, which I have to have a truck for that. Sorry.
You can continue.
Oh, I had to get a truck to travel those roads. So I
Mayor,
did
Mayor.
not have any service other than Waste Pro.
Miss Kathy, I'm sorry you had that problem because I thought we had this settled with Dana. Because
Yeah, well,
I
I'm
talked to her
telling you.
about that. And I tell you what, I'll take it personally. I'll contact Dana myself and I'll take care of this because she and I talked about this because she told me she had this taken care of and I assumed this was done.
I have never heard another word from them.
I'll make
And
a
I
personal
tried to
phone call myself.
I tried to call her 2 or 3 times, and it went straight to voicemail. I don't know if she's on vacation, I don't know what, but I finally just gave up. But the thing is, I still have to go through the sand pit. I still have to drive the mile. It's easier for me to carry it to the dump.
If you'll leave your number with the clerk, I will get a hold of Dana, and I will let you know something.
Okay.
And has this issue been recorded as an issue that we have had with Waste Pro? Because I know every time we talk about Waste Pro, we say they are 100% great. So has this been recorded?
Mr. Mayor, I would think that if Mrs. Griner is calling Dana directly, the city wouldn't have known. So if you're not calling Public Works, we would not have been able to log that. I have one question, if I could, Mr. Mayor, for Mrs. Griner. How many people are down your road? Can you tell me how many houses
Only
there are?
one,
Okay,
me.
okay.
Well,
And-
can we put this as an issue?
I actually have access. I don't go that way because of well, right now there's a tree that fell that's about that big around, and somebody that owned the lane has cut that tree just so a vehicle can get by, but my truck does not go by there easily. So I have another access, but I come across another person's property to come out. So I don't really go that way to put the trash in. You understand? It's just a whole complicated mess. But I
Well,
mean,
that might be a problem too, because it's the same way when I was working with UPS. The driver would know how to get to your house, but at your address, that's typically how they're gonna have to address something, even the post office. And first responders, they got to come to that address.
they can't get down the road. The fire truck stays out here on 27, and the smaller little truck comes in.
Right, right.
And so, I mean, if something happens to one of us, we're
I
going to
mean, do
be.
you plan on using this other access permanently?
No, it's somebody else's property, and they just allow us to use it. When they build their house, then we will not be able to use that anymore.
So you still have to get this other road cleared out to be able to get
Yeah.
in and out.
And the person will clear it, and it's passable now if you have a smaller vehicle. It's passable. And my UPS, since you mentioned UPS, they won't even come all the way down. They
Right.
stop halfway, and we have a little
Box or something to put it in?
thing to put it in that's
Yes, ma'am.
halfway, half a mile down.
I'm sure Miss Dana will fix it. She assured me that this was taken care of. Maybe she didn't know that the drivers there was a communication breakdown, but she assured me that was taken care of. So I'm sure she'll work on it, and I will contact her tomorrow and see if I can get a hold of her if she's in town and see what we can find out.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening again, John Millay. Right now, the city's finances are a mess. We're at risk of losing our fire and police. This is not the time to be giving free passes for trash collection or pay raises to city employees. Thank you.
All right. City Attorney report.
Nothing from me tonight.
Phil and City Manager report.
Jeremy said to remind you fine folks, the agenda item review meeting for the joint city-county meeting is on April 23rd. If anyone has any agenda items they would like to add for discussion, please be sure to email Jeremy by next week.
Commissioner Howe.
I got nothing this week.
Commissioner Grunder.
Before I was here, I was out of Newberry. We beat them 28-14. Go Raiders.
Commissioner Whites.
I have only one thing, Mr. Mayor. The Youth Council met last night, and we swore in 2 new members, and they've got some really fun stuff coming up. 3 of the members are seniors, so they will be aging out. So we need to get some more young people involved if they're interested. It's a really energetic group, so I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to help them.
Vice Mayor Bloodsworth.
Yes, some of you know our fire department received a little grant this week, and we sure were excited to see that. And I would love for you to be able to bring those items in and just show us what they look like, if you don't mind, whenever you receive them. So y'all did a fine job. Y'all were dressed pretty well, cleaned up nicely. Otherwise, that's all I got.
All right. Our employee of the week is Kylie White. She works in the tax office. She has been holding it down while April has been on vacation, and everything has ran very smoothly. All right, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.